Rundown. It is, what is the date today?
The 3rd.
April 3rd.
April 3rd. I have been, I'm under the weather. I've been under the weather all week, so my brain's off. Brought to you by High Noon, Tequila Seltzer, Real Blanco Tequila, Real Juice, rave reviews, except for one guy we know who said it was bad, but he doesn't drink. He's a hick, so who cares? Strawberry passion fruit line, grapefruit. Visit highnoonspirits.com to find a High Noon Tequila Seltzer near you. They are beautiful. They're great. Thank you for the support. Let me pull out. I wrote down the subjects. So
Anything going on last night on the internet?
Yeah. No, I'm in the middle. I'm in a classy off. I'm in a pretty big full-fledged internet war, and it started yesterday with the Iowa LSU national championship game. I watched it. I bet on Iowa. I had a 4-team parlay that I needed Iowa to win. I was watching the game. We're actually in Louisiana, so we're watching it in our sports book, all LSU fans. And LSU's great. They played great. They deserve to win. What?
No, I keep
I'll
going.
set the stage. So
Yeah. I think the
game ends.
the bet is the most important part, as far as I'm
Bet's
concerned.
a major part of probably what transpired, and I can explain. So LSU wins. They win going away. Iowa made a little bit of a run. I think they're up about 15 at the end of the game. Angel Reese on the free throw line does this thing to
Can't See Me?
Yeah, can't see me to Caitlin Clark, and then follows her for like 10 seconds after the game, being like, ring,
the clock
ring.
was going down.
Down, expired. The game's over.
It was fully expired?
Fully expired.
Okay.
I'm mad. ESPN puts up the picture of the game, and it's the face. I call her a classless piece of shit, and off we go. Off we go. It turned pretty quickly into a race war for people who didn't like me, saying I would never say that. And here's where it comes down. Caitlin Clark has done this. She did it against
She talks shit
Louisville.
to different players.
She talks shit.
Yeah, she talks shit.
Yeah.
Everyone should applaud.
Yeah.
Both shit talking.
I like shit talking, by the way. For anybody who's like, what? Where this crux of this argument comes is people saying, and there's a couple elements to it, people are like, you're only saying this because she was a black player, not a white player, if Caitlin Clark did it. Now, if Caitlin Clark did it, I also would not have said anything, but it would have had nothing to do with her being white. It would have been because I bet on Iowa.
Yeah, okay, so the whole time I'm watching your Twitter, and you were tweeting a lot. It was
yeah, I have no problem. People like, put your phone away. No, I was having fun.
No, for people who don't know, Dave was in a hotel room in Louisiana. We were actually at dinner. He skipped the dinner. He was locked in. He had his hard hat on.
No, I'm not putting my phone down.
The way I was viewing it the whole time, because I did not think, like, I'm all
It is
for,
classless, by the way.
I think anytime you say anything's like when you're like classy with shit talking in sports, it's like, who cares? It's shit talking.
That's fine to say it, but there's so many different elements.
But the main element, what I was going to say, the main element, and everyone was calling you racist online. I do not think you're racist. I was just watching the whole thing unfold under the prism of Dave just lost a big bet.
Well, I put that out there.
Yeah, I know. But like, that's why I was laughing, because I was like, if he didn't bet on this game, he would not be this upset.
And I put that out there so people saw. It's like, this had nothing to do with why I'm mad, and put the ticket out there. But here's what the thing is. I have talked that exact same way about a million, zillion, trillion players, black, white, orange, grown, whatever. I will, if someone does something that I don't like in a game I'm watching, I tweet. I've never been called racist or anything for that. So what changed in this? And here's the difference. People can say whatever they want, and I can't tell other people how to feel. I definitely think there's a group of people out there like Amocho Ocho and Jameel Hill who live for these moments where they can almost reverse race bait. I'm not saying all. I think there's some of it. I fundamentally deny And I think you're basically lying if you're saying what Caitlin Clark did and Angel Reese did are the same thing. They're not. I like trash talking. If you hit a big shot in the moment, or you're talking shit in the moment, back and forth, and you do this or whatever, or you talk shit, I don't care. That is not what Angel Reese did. Angel Reese, they were up 15 points. We have a side-by-side. She followed her after the game was over, doing this to her, doing this. Find me one example in any sport of anybody, after somebody wins a championship, confetti coming down, not in a close game, and find me a player stalking the best player on the other team. It does not exist. It does not happen. If a man did that, he would be called classless, and nobody would be saying anything. And you, Amanda Ocho or whatever, he's like, don't police the women's game. Listen, this is a great game. They're on the national scale. I'm talking how I would talk about any sport that I watched at that time. Why is it? It's almost weird. People are being like, let them talk shit, let them do this. All right, fine. But then we can criticize them for doing that. I don't hate the girl or anything, or the woman or anything like that. But what she did was classless, and I've never seen it in any championship setting ever. If someone can find me one example of somebody stalking somebody after the game, the best player, then you win. But it doesn't exist because it's never happened. It's the only time it happened. And it's classless. Now, you can argue what's classless and what's not. Who cares? That has nothing to do with their skin color. And in the reverse, and this goes deep, but only because she's African-American, people say that. Well, who's the most hated player in the history of college basketball?
Christian Laettner.
And then who's number 2? JJ
Redick, yeah.
By the way,
I mean, Grayson Allen had a nice run there too.
And deservedly so, but like...
Duke just produces terrible people.
So again, I just think to single that out, race had nothing to do with it. Now, again, I readily admit, if Caitlin Clark did that to Angel Reese at the game, because I was rooting for them, and if I root for my team, I defend them at all costs, I probably wouldn't have said anything, but it has nothing to do with the color of the skin. It just has to do with who I bet on and who I was rooting for, period. The people... All I ask for anybody who is continuing to do this, you cannot say it's the same thing. People are putting the side by side of Caitlin Clark doing this, which lasted, she hit a shot, she walked to the bench and looked and did that and put her hand away, versus somebody stalking a player. And again, that's fine. You can do it. That sports, people like talking shit, but no one is picking on her. She made a scene at the end of the game that a lot of people noticed, not just me. If you want to make it about race, I have nothing for you. That's my take on it. I think that was like as elegantly put in a live stream as I can put.
I just don't care because I think shit talking should be like, if you do a shit talk, I know that they're not the same. I do think that what Angel Reese did was weird because I pointed that out. Like, go celebrate with your team. That part is weird to me. But in terms of shit talking, I don't care. Like major sports, once you get past like Little League, like this is what happens. You shit talk your opponent. Caitlin Clark was shit talking all tournament long. Angel Reese was using that as motivation. Like that's what happens in major sports. So like none of it bothered me whatsoever.
So right, and that would be the way you're talking right now. Would anybody think? Let's just say tonight in a game.
And I had Iowa.
Let's say tonight in the game, it's a 15-point game down the stretch, and a player on one team. I don't know. Hawkins, the best player. Connecticut loses. And one of the San Diego State players follows Hawkins for 15 minutes doing this, pointing. People would comment on that online.
Yeah, they would comment, and I would not care about that either. Right. Yeah, no, I wouldn't care about that either. Because it's like when to the victors goes the spoils. Like, yeah, you could be like, oh, it's classless, like win with class. I just don't care because I don't think, like, class doesn't, unless you're trying to actively injure someone, like shit talking and especially doing something that, yes, they were a little different, doing something that Caitlin Clark had done. I also, like, did Caitlin Clark, was she upset about it? Because, like, it also is, like, defending someone who, like, she probably was like, yeah, I lost. Like, I got beat.
She basically said she didn't see it. She went to the handshake line. And I have no problem with what you're saying.
So I'm also, like, not going to defend someone who doesn't need defending in this spot where it's like...
Again, my thing is not defending. It's just this is one of the things that went down the race. It had nothing to do with race. And the examples that I'm seeing that everyone keeps putting up are live game stuff. It's like a sack and somebody does a double check, or Amocho Oko put the gritty. He's like, somebody did the grit. These are all real live moments in game. This was different. If you can't, again, I go back, find me one example in a championship blowout setting of a player after the game's over, following the best player on the other team and mocking them. It doesn't, and again, like you said, Dan, I don't care. But
yeah, you can say
it's
though, clear Angel Reese was using that as motivation, like Caitlin Clark being, having such an incredible tournament. Angel Reese ends up winning MVP for the tournament. Like, she was using it as motivation. I think when you get to high-level sports, like, people motivate themselves different ways. They shit talk throughout the game. I celebrate shit talking. I think it's, like, fun. I think it's a good part of the game. And when you lose, you got to expect to have it come back to you. Was it weird? Yeah, a little bit weird, but I also just... I just don't really care, because unless even if Caitlin Clark was like, my feelings are hurt, it's like, well, then grow up. I also think, in a weird way, it's good for women's basketball that everyone's so passionate about it.
That's where I was going to go.
People were very passionate about the game on Friday night in South Carolina, Iowa. They were passionate about this game. I think that's all good.
That's all great.
We're talking about it the men's game.
That's kind of what I said, though, about
great.
The Umoka thing. It's like, it's not a race issue. This is, people are rooting the national championship. If it's a men's game, if it's any sport, and your team that you're rooting for, somebody goes and do that, you're going to be mad at that player in the moment, irregardless of gender, skin color, and you're going to be like, that person's a piece of shit. And everyone's like, oh, Dave, he called her a piece of shit. Have you looked at my Twitter feed? Like,
what about when Jake...
I swear quite a bit. I curse. I call every motherfucker under the planet curse words. So now, just because she's African American, now, like, what? I can't criticize. What if Goodell was black? I said that. I'd be dead. Like, if Goodell was black, it would be the end of me.
What about when Jake stood over Hank after he beat him in ping pong? That was pretty
brutal.
Bad. We celebrated that. That was after the game. That was after the game.
It was classless.
But I loved it.
Yeah,
that's the thing is, I love all this. This is all what sports are about.
Dan, if I won $200,000 and Caitlin Clark went and did that, or anybody, I would love it. I'd be like, yeah.
Okay, so then you're admitting it.
I'm on the wrong side. Right. I'm mad, and she's being classless.
That's how I viewed it all, your rant and your tweets and everything, as a guy who lost the bet. And when you view it like that, I agree. Race isn't involved. You lost the bet. Like, that's the root of it, that if you had no betting interest in this game,
correct,
you would have not commented on any of this. So that part, like, I don't. And then people were like, oh, it's a bad, like, precedent. Like, what are the kids gonna say? Fucking parent your own fucking kids. If you don't think that's good, tell them it's not good. If you think it's good, tell them it. Like, just because someone does something on TV, you'll be like, well, the fucking kids, shut the fuck up and parent your own children.
And you can't have the two things that are going on. The people who are saying it's race and defending and she's just talking shit. Well, then you also going to be like, yeah, she's talking shit and she's going to catch shit. Like, you do that, people are going to react to it. You can't be like, no, this is what you do in basketball. You talk shit. Well, yes, when emotions are high. So I bet on Iowa. I was rooting for Iowa. If you're an Iowa fan and you're rooting for Iowa, your tensions are high. If somebody does that to your favorite player, you're going to hate them regardless.
I think it's also partly like Iowa fans, they're upset because they lost, but you also, Iowa fans did celebrate Caitlin Clark talking shit throughout the tournament. So, like, this is what happens when you lose. You feel bad. Other teams talk shit. Other teams call you out. This is just what happens in sports, and I love that aspect of sports. That, like, when the going's good, you're talking shit. When the going's bad, you get shit talked back to you, and you just got to eat it. And again, I just think that at the end of the day, it's really, you lost a bet.
I agree with what you're saying, but it was not.
It was weird. I said it was weird. It was a very
different talking.
I said it was weird,
type of shit.
Yeah, it was weird.
Classless. That's what it was.
I still don't. Yeah, class. I don't. Anytime class gets brought up, it's like, who cares?
My thing, I just thought it was cringy on the LSU.
It was weird.
But I mean, I thought she was falling into the locker room.
She basically was. It hasn't happened before. It's classless, and people keep putting the side by side up. You're either intentionally being disingenuous, or you're a dummy, or you're brain dead. It's one of the three. To say that those were the same instances, I got nothing for you. They're not, and everybody knows they're not. Imagine somebody, not that she's Michael Jordan, but even Steph Curry, like, people put, oh, Steph Curry did this. Yeah, after he hits a shot and is going down the court. No one follows Steph Curry to the locker room after
game
over.
Yeah, but
championship.
That's even weirder.
Title. You know? It's over. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. You sometimes see it with fighters, who have so much like acrimony before a fight, and occasionally you will see a fighter still be mean or taunt, and that gets called out. They're like, come on, have some class.
I love that.
It's over. Yeah, but people will call it. It's like, have some class. The fight's over.
Yeah, see, I think just class in general when it comes to like high-level sports, again, unless you're trying to actively injure someone, it just doesn't exist in my mind. Like, that's just what, when you're competing at that level, shit-talking and class is like, who cares?
But that's kind of the fun of like Twitter.
Yeah, no.
Arguing, was it classy, was it not classy?
Again, I had no problem with you getting upset about your bet.
It shouldn't translate into a race issue, and I can't speak, I guess, for everybody who's I think there is definitely some people who correct. So, it absolutely has nothing to do with why I was mad, and anybody who's followed me at all or sees how I was tweeting or what I was doing would be like, yeah, he's
lost
mad.
The bet.
But it doesn't excuse what she did was classless. I didn't say nothing till it was over. I didn't even know really who that woman was or that player was. She was very good, but
yeah, she averaged a double-double all tournament. Congrats on the title, Mintzy.
I got a lot of texts from LSU fans who were mad at Dave last night, I will say.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
It is funny that we're in Louisiana for it.
I know. And Megan making money, I think she thought she was like talking to Mintzy. She's like, be nice, batting her eyelashes at me. Like, be nice. Like, what are you doing, Megan? I don't give a fuck about you. Like, I'm not going to be nice to you. This isn't fucking Mintzy. Like,
she clowns on me.
She's like, look at my blue eyes, be nice. Like, shut the fuck up.
LSU played a hell of a game, and I think a lot of it was like, again, different athletes use motivation different ways. It was clear LSU was motivating themselves with Caitlin Clark. And that was why, they played the game of their life and they deserve all the credit. So I think that's what spilled over there in those emotions. And I just love all of it. I think it's all sports.
Will say,
I fucking love all of it.
Now, I may be there, and you want to go down the race route, which we don't, but I did see, and maybe it's the Iowa, it's like they're all white. And a lot of the other teams all African-American. But like I saw a clip after of Dawn Staley, maybe that's more where I'm not getting this angle, where the Iowa coach was like, which to me, I didn't get at all. The Iowa coach, women's coach was like, before the game, she's like, it's gonna be a battle down low. It's gonna be a bar fight on the boards. She said that. Dawn Staley was very upset and said that was basically, don't talk about my team like that, racially motivated.
That's weird.
Now, I've heard Kevin Garnett, we made bar fight shirts. Kevin Garnett used to be like, by the way, Anna Horford banned me from rooting for the Celtics. I'm no longer, according to Anna Horford, she's like, you're not allowed to root for the Celtics anymore.
Damn.
So things
that sucks.
I'm gonna have to work that out and see if I'm allowed to root for the Celtics anymore. But yeah, so maybe there's more undertone, but again.
No, there's definitely an undertone, but I saw you as a guy who lost a lot of money.
Totally.
Like,
and it was classless.
That's why I was. Yeah, we'll disagree on the classless thing just because I just love.
Wait, but all right, you can't.
It was weird. It was weird.
The people saying Caitlin Clark did it, the same thing.
Yeah,
That's not true.
No, they weren't the same thing. I said it was weird. It was weird to follow her when you should be celebrating with your teammates. But again, I don't think there is like class doesn't exist when you get out of like youth sports. Like you try to teach your kids like, hey, go shake hands and stuff like that. But class, like, this is high level sports.
I agree with you. But then the people who are being like, what you're saying are then being like, you can't talk like that about them. They're just kids. It's like, well,
no. Yeah, someone tried to use that. Someone was like, don't you say they're just kids all the time for college basketball? It's like, yeah, dude, I'm sorry I have to explain the joke to you, but I'm saying that because I want to motherfuck a bunch of like college kids for like dribbling the ball off their foot. I say they're just kids instead of saying like fuck this guy.
And I will
like
say
it's a
fuck
joke.
this guy. Like,
Fuck
this woman, equal opportunity.
He should have just been like they're just kids. Leave Caitlin alone. It was the only tweet that I thought was weird was when you did the doughy-eyed emoji.
I was just trolling. That was a total troll.
And I also knew you were trolling after your second tweet when you tweeted hashtag classless.
Yeah,
I was like, he's clearly just trying to get interaction.
Well, then I started doing it.
Yeah, right.
Then I started going, I don't want the conversation to be about how classless she is. It should be about the game.
Right. Like all anyone's talking about is how classless she is. We should be talking about the women's game. It's like, Do you not see what Dave's doing here?
Yeah, well, it turned after, like, I was mad. I tweeted it while still in the casino. I went back, and it starts turning a half and half, and then everything's brought up. Anna Horford's in my asshole. The usual suspects, who I didn't even see half of them come out. But I saw somebody that's like, when Mina Kimes and Sarah Spain and Amoka Ocho are all on the same side of an issue, you're on the right side. It's like I can just put down a list. Here comes the people who are going to come at me.
Yeah,
same people
there was
always.
A pile-on effect that was like, oh, let's get Dave here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've done, like, since the beginning of Pardon My Take, we did like a Stay Classy segment where we mock anyone who gets upset about classiness in sports.
Totally.
But again, whenever will be like, oh, that's real classy, it's like, I'm joking about it because I don't think that exists.
Right.
And unless you're trying to injure someone, then fuck Grayson Allen.
All right, Final Four men's. We got the final tonight. The big, obviously, was the San Diego State shot to end the game. Did you see what I said they should have done?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
They should have had a play where they just tried to throw it up with clock expiring on the shot clock.
6 seconds was the difference.
San Diego State did have a timeout. Crazy they didn't call a timeout.
But you don't advance the ball in college basketball.
But it's crazy.
You do in women's.
It's crazy they didn't call a timeout because they didn't have their two best scorers on the court.
Yep.
And then Brian Dusher afterward was like, I just ran out of plays.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't have any plays to give. Which is a great quote.
So the 6 seconds, what I suggested before is that they should dribble it around the logo, wait till under one, shoot. What pretty much would have been an uncontested long-range shot because you're not.
You just got to hit the rim.
You got to hit the rim, but I think a college player hits the rim 98% of the time. If you hit the rim, the game is over. Game is over.
Yeah, if you can get a ball that's batted around, not secured right away,
because it's 2 seconds.
It's very tough.
There, so you'd have 4.
Yeah,
it's
he
the
shot
rim,
too
3,
early.
2.
Yep.
It basically ends. So that was a stunning finish. You got all the videos of students dying. I will say, there's a video of FAU. And you can tell they're not really a basketball school by the video because they react, but they're not devastated.
Right.
They're just kind of like, huh.
I mean, it was a hell of a run by them. And they get everyone back, and Dusty May signed a contract extension. Also in that game, I met Danny Boy Kane.
Oh, yeah.
Life goal checked off.
I still don't have it. And
Yeah,
again,
it was,
felt
I
like shit.
FaceTimed you when I was sitting with Danny Boy Kane. It was just,
Oh, I didn't see that.
yeah, I FaceTimed you. Yeah, well,
No,
I
you brought a
FaceTimed
picture.
Austin.
Oh, I wasn't with Austin.
Yeah, you were. You literally, we FaceTimed with
Oh,
you.
I already got it. Yeah. I told you I'm a noodle. I used every ounce of reserve in this fight last night.
Yeah, but it was great because I sat down with Danny Boy Kane and it was it was just perfect because I sat down and he just immediately started just going through the entire UConn roster with me. He's the man. He's a legend.
Did you see he wants to bring back the Astrodome?
I agree with him.
Yeah.
The Astrodome sits next to NRG. They should use it for, I don't know, high school sports or big, it would be very, World Baseball Classic should be played in the Astrodome. It'd be very cool.
You got to bring it back.
Yeah.
Who do you guys have tonight?
I can't.
Well, you have the future.
I have UConn 13-1, just no hedge. Why would I hedge? I think they're the best team in the country.
My dumb ass is 1-4 in UConn games. I don't know why I've kept fading them. They just crush everyone, and I just don't think San Diego State's going to score a lot of points against their length. I mean, they already struggle offensively. I think UConn 63-49.
Okay,
exact
63-49.
score. Thank you.
Wow.
Something,
An
something.
exact score?
Y'all remember that UConn Butler title game that was real ugly?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I feel like
in Houston.
I feel like this one could be kind of ugly too.
Yeah, I mean, San Diego
just
State's
wait
a
for-
very good team. I just think
Very
UConn's
long.
on a different level.
I do too. I don't think San Diego State. They're going to struggle to score.
If you want to bet it, today's show brought to you by the Sportsbook, Barstool Sportsbook, made for you, for the loyal fans, listeners, the only place to find exclusive picks, parlays from us, now offering a $1,000 bonus for new players. If your first bet loses, get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. So download, create an account today, use code RUNDOWN to unlock your $1,000 bonus. Download, create an account today. Be sure to use code RUNDOWN to unlock your $1,000 bonus. That's the Barstool Sportsbook code RUNDOWN. Terms apply. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not overly excited. I had the future on Miami that went up in smoke. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I really don't. WrestleMania last night. First of all, I know this isn't the first year, but I keep forgetting it's. I don't
2
know.
days.
How long has it been 2 days
It's
for?
probably for the last 4 or 5 years.
It's crazy that they do 2 days. I guess it
against
works.
the Final Four.
Well, it's always Final Four weekend
it is,
because we've gone back and forth.
Yeah.
The highlight, without a doubt, was Shane O'Mac with losing his ACL. The announcer being like, Shano's back, and then like, welp, as he crashes back in.
You can see him try to get up, and the knee buckled.
I had tears in my eyes.
I was saying that, like, could you imagine? Because I still do love wrestling. I don't watch it like I used to watch it, during the Attitude Era. But could you imagine if they just had Joey Abs and Pete Gas just in the wings for that exact moment to like run in? It would have been electric.
With wrestling fans, you never know, because I did tweet exactly what I said. I said, I have tears in my eyes. And then I reread my tweet. I'm like, I wonder, there is definitely people like, I was crying. People thought I was crying because it was sad. Like, I was.
Down goes the legend.
Yeah, like I had tears in my eyes laughing. It's sad that you lose an ACL, but it was so vintage wrestling. And of course, people had the clips of when Vince blew out his ACL
when he
sliding under.
Yeah,
so
just jump in.
And then Snoop Dogg saved it. Everyone acting like he was the greatest hero of all time. A lot of people mad about Roman Reigns. I don't watch wrestling anymore.
And Vince's new look.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. It looks like he's ready to steal 100 Dalmatians.
So it's crazy. It literally is. So Endeavor, Ari Emanuel, who already own UFC, have bought WWE and Vince's. I mean, this look, Vince.
He's got like a really thin, pencil-thin mustache above his lip. And just as evil villain as Vince McMahon is already, he took it to another level, being like,
100x.
Here's the day that I made like $4 billion. I'm wearing this
100x. And it's an interesting marriage. I mean, it makes sense. Are we just going to start seeing like the UFC guys, you think, like constantly in WWE cameos?
Maybe. I don't know. It does make sense, right, Mintzy?
More promotion. I mean, definitely makes sense. A lot of the fan bases cross over for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting. They're going to be a gigantic company. So that was big news. Anything else from WrestleMania that caught you guys' attention?
No.
I was driving here late last night during it.
Do you drive on the highway?
I do, man. That's
dangerous.
I got a, New Orleans has some carjacking problems, so I got a 2011 Toyota Camry.
Yeah, there's something about Mintzy driving at night on the highway makes me nervous.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's all the subjects I had. I know you have.
I have two things. One is, so Mintzy, Dave, if you want to kick in with this, so I've pledged $10,000 for Hogs for the Cause under the stipulation that Mintzy runs a
60-minute 10K.
10K under 60 minutes. There's no chance he's doing this, but he keeps congratulating me for pledging this money, but I'm not going to donate the money unless he does it. And I will give you, if you don't do it for the race, I'm going to give you a redemption on a track that we can live stream.
Okay, on the act?
Yeah, I want to watch it.
Well, now.
There's no chance.
Why are you doubting me?
Because Mintzy, like, you can't.
But I got a stipulation with them that Big Cat's 10K and Todd Graves, founder of Canes,
again,
has matched it.
So I do have a question.
You keep saying
it's a great cause. Hogs for Cause is a great cause.
I donated last year. I won't be donating this year.
What percentage of your time do you spend on raising money for Hogs for the Cause, would you say?
The last few weeks, a lot.
Yeah.
Just the last few weeks, though.
Just 2 weeks?
I started prepping on it, making calls a couple months ago, but really heavily the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No,
because
I
feel like if I went through your work report, it's on there pretty much every day.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, but realistically, the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, but realistically, you do put on your work report.
Yeah, I definitely mentioned it more than I'm
like every day, basically, almost.
Yeah, usually Hogs for the Cause season starts somewhere in September.
It was January, but yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But no, Dave's right. I probably did mention it on the
So, what was the first call you took?
Is that like, now, I guess my question, when that's like on the Barstool Sports work report, why does that count for work for Barstool Sports?
I guess, okay.
I've been wondering that for a couple years.
No,
because
that's fair.
we really have nothing to do with it.
No.
It is a great charity. I like charity.
I know you
but it's like, I did
affect
like
us.
the Jimmy Fund walk. Like, all right, that's great. We have absolutely nothing to do with that.
Okay. Well, I would say, I'll just say this, Dave. One of the things I admire about working for this company is the fact that we give back. And I think that within 24 hours of me getting hired by you 2.5 years ago, I knew I wanted to get involved with Hogs and use this platform to help them. And I know that it doesn't directly, Barstool and Hogs don't directly affect each other, but being part of this platform does affect being able to raise money for them and help those families.
Yeah, that didn't seem like any remote correlation to how that counts as work for us.
Maybe I should, okay, I'll say this. On the work reports, my awareness, I've generally been, maybe I just need to stick to exactly more ABC as opposed to like what I'm up to.
What would ABC look
Well,
like?
I still am curious. Do you count working for Hogs for Cause as working like
I don't think
hours
it counts.
for Barstool?
No, I don't think so.
But
I don't think so.
Yet
Yeah,
you put it on the work report.
I thought I guess my mistake was I knew you liked it, so I was like, oh, he at least doesn't mind this. But that's
So like theoretically, you could put like I watched Succession last night. It could just be a daily activity.
I did too.
I don't. How? We don't have HBO.
I watched on my computer.
Oh, yeah, I'm waiting, so don't tell me.
Okay.
But
Oh, it was a good episode.
yeah. So did we confuse work report with just
life report.
yeah?
I think I did.
Maybe.
I did, but I do know.
can see how that
I
would
guess
be
maybe I definitely did,
confusing.
and I'm guilty of that. But I do know.
Maybe the life report's more interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
then
it
I'm gonna
is.
need a lot more info because you only put 2 to 3 things on it. One is always something for Hogs for the Cause.
No, John Rich's video
You're right. No,
about
he puts
Mintzy
3.
not working.
I
no,
put
he
a few
puts
blogs,
3
some
things.
videos, and then a
Reviews.
few other things.
Correct.
Great reviews.
Yeah, that was probably a little off, but
Well, no, you were in the video.
yeah, it wasn't a video.
But, like,
I guess reviews and YouTube. Hank,
yeah, you just
YouTube
said
comments.
reviews.
Like, yeah,
it's like a Yelp
yeah,
restaurant.
so I guess I just got to figure that out because when I'm like work report and it's 90% Hogs for the Cause, but we're saying Hogs for the Cause actually has nothing to do with working for Barstool.
Hogs is over now, so.
well, no, we still got
Starts
the
next year.
We got the race. We got the race.
got the race.
I'm pumped for this race, man. You
I am
doubt me?
too.
I'm excited about it. I feel, I'm not going to say I'm. super
You're
cocky,
not
but
gonna do it.
Why do you think I'm not going to do it? Why do you not believe in me?
You released your time that you said you ran a 5K in 30 minutes. That's off pace.
That's halfway.
No, it's not.
High 5K's 3.1, 10K's
No,
6.2.
but what'd you run it in?
Ran a 5K in 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
So
exactly.
Yeah,
Are you gonna get
29
faster?
20, 40. I got a buddy of mine pacing me.
Okay.
The big thing I haven't seen.
Because usually in a race, like it's hard to get faster after you run the first 5K.
Well,
Like, yeah. I keep going in my head. It's like I'm remembering like I got Todd Graves to possibly donate to Hogs for the Cause.
That was a good video.
it was a good video.
How does that benefit us?
I mean, I feel that it's good that one of our big sponsors at least likes what I'm doing and shows that I'm doing stuff in the community that he's all about. And I mean, he complimented me on that. He's like, I love the way you're integrating this stuff and giving back and getting involved with the Crescent City 10K and Hogs.
Well,
I mean,
we haven't given back yet.
Well, no, but I mean,
have
I know
not
Raising
given back
Cane's is a
yet.
very
Yeah,
important
I
relationship.
have another question.
Far away.
The New Orleans Pelicans, their Barstool night game.
Yes, go ahead.
A tragedy.
I heard through the grapevine
What'd you hear?
that we only had sold roughly 4 tickets, and that is why they pulled the plug.
No, well, we hadn't sold a ton. That is true because it was still like 4 weeks out, and it was going to be a late arriving thing after Mardi Gras. We were never going to sell them like 6 weeks out. I mean, I believe that people are going to buy them late.
And you went too viral.
Yeah, well, look, I had a phone call with
You went too viral.
with one of our high sales guys, and I point blank asked him. I said, "Look, if I did not,
Like you were buying like group tickets?
they were like 300 level tickets. It was like a group block. But anyway,
How many?
But the point here, okay, here was the phone call I had. So I said on the phone call, he called me the day after the video, and it was actually as I was on the flight to go to Arizona, and he was like,
For your halftime show, which was phenomenal.
thank you, I appreciate that.
Do we have one tonight?
I mean, I hadn't planned one, but I mean,
Hogs for Cause weekend. We can't.
I would love a halftime.
I know, so-
Big got me a lot of things.
Love a halftime show tonight.
But no, he called me and said, hey, we got a lot of pushback from other sponsors because you were wearing that sportsbook hoodie, and we told you not. And they did tell me this. They said, I got warned when we got it. They said, do not promote this on the sportsbook, and we mentioned it on the sportsbook YouTube channel on Pick Central, and he said, don't mention it on the sportsbook. And my dumb ass, when I'm putting on a hoodie, I don't think there's a difference between a Barstool hoodie and the Barstool Sportsbook hoodie when I'm just pulling one out of my pocket.
These are like discounted tickets?
Yeah, they were just like group block 300.
So what would prevent
We could have just done one.
me from just buying, like, hey, we're doing a group event.
And just having a thing at a bar. There's a
Or
bar.
you could actually, I think, just buy the tickets.
There was also,
Probably.
we had an event at the bar there.
Like, what prevents you from doing something where you can go buy a bunch of 300 level tickets?
And just meet up. Well, there was a bar. The part of the event was
Yes.
meet at a bar in the stadium before. They had a bar.
And they would prevent you from, what if you just said,
Didn't
we're
show up.
meeting at this bar in the stadium?
I don't know. You're right. I think we could do that.
What about, so Mintzy, what about
good.
this going viral thing? Like, you have to wake up every day and figure out what you're going to wear, knowing that you could go viral at any moment.
Yeah, I didn't ever really think about that.
Okay.
But
Because that is
video,
something you have to start thinking about.
that is something I guess I have to start.
I think you can still do this Pelicans event the way I'm understanding it,
Yeah.
like by just buying.
You could just be like, I'm
tickets.
sitting up here.
Yeah, we all buy
Anyone
these
who
300
wants
level tickets
to come.
Or we could meet up at some bar outside the stadium
Right.
instead of the one in the stadium.
Right,
Probably
right,
have to
right.
do meet up somewhere else.
I actually think
Like,
you
I
could
did
do
an event-
either, but
I did an
I
event.
don't think they're going to have the cops waiting for you at the bar.
I did an event on Saturday night at the Final Four. It was me and Memes. We went to the game.
I mean,
Yeah, we did. We bought tickets to the game. We sat all the way up top.
I saw you sitting up top.
Yeah.
Watching some ants
It's
run
kind
around.
of an event. Yeah, it was an event. No, it was an event. It was an event. It was me and Memes, and we were sitting up top.
I do got one other thing that's going to be good coming up.
Yes.
Let's
go.
No, I got.
Let's go.
I got.
Well, Wake Up Mintzy. When is the first episode?
Next Monday, April 10th.
I've invested a lot of money, Stella Blue Coffee.
I've got my Stella Blue stuff.
Okay, all
I've
right.
got a
I
store.
love the event Hogs for the Cause. I want to be very clear. We're not. It's just.
Dave,
I
I donated $10,000.
Well, you
That
count
isn't gonna
that
be
as
paid.
work for Barstool.
And it's not.
I would argue it is not correct.
It's,
But
We
it
have
is a
nothing-
great cause.
We literally have nothing to do with that event.
well,
Quite literally.
But it is a great cause.
It's a great cause. Just like the Jimmy Fund, like anything, Children's Hospitals, pet event, any charity, great. You are the only one who basically claims that as full-time employment.
then I will not be claiming it as.
I think you still
You
should.
should
I think
still
you still
work.
should.
Sure,
Yeah, don't.
Anyways,
Dave's just
what was
trying
your
to-
other thing?
Okay,
Dave's just
so-
trying to bully you. Don't do it.
I know Dave loves charity. I feel like
No,
I will
it was.
say this.
I love charity.
I know. I actually
He doesn't
am.
love
No,
charity.
I actually
He
am
doesn't.
guilty on this. I probably am using your good heart toward charity and knowing you love that probably when I send those in. So that's probably wrong because I knew you liked it. So it's like,
Don't
well, at least he's doing.
apologize. Don't.
At least he's
Stay
doing something
strong.
that like I like. I feel like that is.
Got it.
Yeah.
So like we are basically a facilitator for people's personal interests.
Well,
Like we put you on salary if you do something that I enjoy in your private life, i.e., hey, I'm at the horse races. I know Dave loves horse racing. He'll be
should do
happy
that.
I'm
You
using
should
my.
put that on.
I almost did a horse racing video at the Tampa
should.
Derby because my buddy said Dave loves horse racing. You should do
yeah,
video.
yeah, you should
And
do
I
that.
didn't. And I should have.
Yeah, you should send in the expense report.
Dave
for all your
likes-
losses too.
Succession. I will let him know I am spending my time watching Succession.
I feel like the chair. Yeah. Well, and the other thing I was mentioning though, I do have. I got a buddy of mine that I've been trying to get to help me, who's doing all my videos now and producing the show. That's Monday, April 10th. You can put it down in stone. Finally,
Okay,
trial
okay.
run Friday. I've rented out a studio in Uptown New Orleans. Got a good deal. Got 3 cameras set up.
You have a studio?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Holy
Shout out
shit.
to Big Crew Media. They gave me a good deal. They were giving
Okay.
me it in the morning. They gave me a really reasonable rate. I'm obviously paying for this, proving myself. Like
Speaking
I know.
of paying, I heard another rumor
Where'd you hear that?
that you go into, is it Penn Property Hotels and trade rooms for shout outs?
I don't do that. That's not fair. That's an unfair statement. I've never done that.
Okay.
I look at what that is a false rumor.
But did you do any reviews? Because like that would help.
I mean, I post anytime I stay at a Penn property. I post and do videos.
I mean,
thanking them for
by the
having
way,
me.
I don't think that's like, I was just curious. I mean, that seems like you work for us. Maybe, you rub their back.
No, I do rub their back. I always, anytime I stay at a
Do you
Penn property,
pay
I
when you
think-
go?
Man, lately, yes. I know that we pay now, like the Penn taking over. I came I stayed the Thursday night March Madness here. I was here for 2 nights. And
Any reviews?
I mean, I just did a ton of videos and
Nice,
stuff, push
nice.
a lot of stuff. But yeah, I
Nice.
just was in here. Yeah, but I mean, I paid for my food tab at the Barstool Sportsbook and stuff. I wasn't-
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
I mean, I know it's new. Penn's taking over, and Smith's thing is really. I talked to Jack McCarthy, just being transparent, like, hey, what's going on?
I cut you off. Continue with what you got going.
No, okay. So anyway, got the studio rented out. Trial run. Corey Rutledge, who's one of our top directors and guys, has put a big interest in it. It's going to be kind of a like manic thing, like wake up. It's going to be like wake up Mintzy. We need a little more morning content on the Sportsbook YouTube page. I think it's a little open.
Yep.
Everybody thinks I never get up in the morning to work, so we've got to prove everyone
Why
wrong.
do people think that?
I have no idea, big cat.
Okay.
But we're doing 8 to 8:30 Central, so it's going to be 9 a.m.
And what are you doing?
It's going to be a morning show. It's going to be the first 8 or 10 minutes. It's going to be like segments, like 30-second, 1 minute, like turn-up rants, and then I'm going to have a different Barstool guest on. I'm going for 3 days a week. Still debating Monday, Wednesday, Friday versus Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I need to figure that out.
Okay.
Because I know y'all, obviously.
No, don't think about us.
Don't think about y'all. Well,
listen,
I mean, y'all are not.
It would be, if Wake Up Mintzy becomes bigger than Pardon My Take, that would be great, though. I would retire.
I wasn't saying that.
No, but I could retire. I'm telling you that would be a dream.
I wasn't saying Wake Up Mintzy would affect Pardon My Take.
I
I'm
was
saying everybody would.
But you said Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Listen, the more success everybody has, rising tide floats all ships.
Yeah.
We want it to be as big as possible. When can we expect?
I want Wake Up
Monday, April
Mintzy to
5th.
beat Good
Monday.
Morning
Next
America.
Monday, we're doing a trial run on Friday. We want to make sure, have a run through, make sure everything's good. I mean, it's going to be like.
I kind of want to cancel that trial run. I want to see.
I mean, I'm going to be like it's going to be like partially like me waking up in the morning. Like, I mean, I'm probably going to go on a rant and then like start brushing my teeth and then like comb my hair and like. It's going to be pretty wild.
I like.
It's gonna be wild.
This is kind of why I don't want. I don't think you do the trial.
You just
run.
think I just ran?
Yeah, I want to see the. I want to see the raw.
Quite electric.
No, it's going to be fun. I'm going to get real wild in the morning and.
I've put a lot of. I have a Stella Blue
hair.
Coffee meeting every single week, and they're like,
Yeah, you
"What's
guys
our
are the
next
primary
big
sponsor,
thing? What's
right?
our next
Yeah,
big
yeah,
thing?"
yeah.
I'm like, "Wake Up Mintzy's coming."
Well, I've been wanting to get this guy. I've been trying to hire him back since he was my old co-host when I did sports radio in Shreveport. He's super talented. I've been trying to get him back for 6 years. He's coming back.
6 years.
No, like I tried to get him back in Shreveport, and I tried to get him to ESPN Baton Rouge. This dude's like super talented, great production, and he's like trying to pay his dues. I mean, he's like staying with me right
Cruz?
now. No, it's my buddy Tyler Moody.
Okay.
But he's committed to through July. He's like
Wait, Cruz is your assistant.
Cruz is Barstool Goal.
He's your assistant.
Cruz is not my assistant.
That's what John Rich.
He played that up.
Okay,
the
all right,
guy
all right.
hires my production, not assistant. But he's
'Cause I was
he's
gonna
committed
ask
to
you
through
after.
July. He's like, I'm going to bust my ass.
to you.
Yeah,
I was
to
gonna-
me and Barstool. Just,
To Mintzy Enterprises.
yeah.
I was gonna ask you after.
And he's going to reevaluate after that. So.
Mintzy, I was going to ask you after.
How many guys you got? You sound like how many guys you got?
Just what Cruz is Barstool.
Well, I was going to ask you after. Like, I've been working at Barstool a decade, and I've never been able to get an assistant. So I was going to ask you how you did it.
Well, I mean, I'm letting him stay on live at my place very cheap. So he's getting a good deal with that, and then he's got some other side info.
Okay.
But I think he's really talented. He produced the Todd Graves video. I thought it looked good. I thought it was a
Great
good start.
production. That was a Spielberg joint. I'm excited for Wake Up Mintzy.
It literally sounds electric.
I'm going to be waking up with
electric.
you.
Do we need, actually, while I'm on the spot with y'all, I mean, with football season being over, do you think I should go Saturday morning or Friday for what's better? Like, Saturday morning's a little content spot. What would y'all prefer the third one to be? Could do it tied into it's going to be a great Saturday.
Probably, it's going to be great Saturdays.
The Monday morning.
It's tough to get audience on a Saturday,
Okay.
though.
Can I ask you something crazy?
Ask me whatever you want.
What if you just add an extra day?
Yeah, no, that's. Come on, Dave.
We could.
There's only 7 days in the week.
If you go 4 out of 7 minutes, I don't want to stretch you too thin, but
Okay, you're hitting at it. Okay, people want it.
I think so.
You'd rather that on the work report than hogs.
Well, yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and a special weekend edition.
Saturday.
Yeah.
I got to figure out, we got a really good studio. We got a 3-camera setup. I mean, it's because the vision for Corey Rutledge has for it is multi-cameras and my manic facial stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, why is it a studio if you're brushing your hair and your teeth?
We got a kitchen set up in the studio.
In the studio?
The studio, it's going to be in a
Holy
kitchen.
shit.
The whole vision for it is a kitchen. And starting my day in the kitchen with the Stella Blue. And the beginning of the day, I'm going to be looking rough and then just chug a whole cup of Stella Blue coffee.
Every
Like,
day?
let's go.
Every day?
I mean,
Fuck, I'm ready.
You are gonna have to make sure that your stock.
Yeah,
is
no,
up to par.
this is going to be huge. I'm excited for this. I'm very excited for Wake Up Mintz.
I am too.
I've been hearing about it for a long time.
The whole thing was waiting on Moody.
It's like fucking Rounders 2. We've just
the
been
hell's
waiting for
Moody?
this to happen.
My guy, he didn't. I couldn't get him until
The 6-year guy.
Yeah, I couldn't get him until a couple weeks ago because he was calling games for ESPN Plus.
Got
for
it.
basketball.
Got it.
Okay.
I don't. It's your joint. I like the.
You like the idea though?
I like the idea of it literally starting
the idea.
with like a camera in your face while you're in bed. And
No, we're
follow
gonna do-
you walking.
We're gonna have
into the
promo
studio.
video. Oh yeah, we're gonna
No,
have.
like live.
No,
like
he wants you
every
in your
day.
house. Fuck the
You want-
studio.
Yeah.
You want Moody yelling at me, waking me up at
Yes, kinda.
6? Okay.
Like the alarm, it starts off a close shot of the alarm at what you're doing 9. Like you hit the alarm and it's you getting out of bed. Just
the whole process.
What if we got over under in the Barstool Sportsbook how long your piss is in the morning? Now we're thinking.
I'm really happy to just be having a guy that I can have a camera on me more though, because
Yeah.
I feel like realistically what I'm good at.
No, the world needs
like I'm
more
okay,
Mintzy.
I'm like an okay blogger, like not great,
Right.
but I'm good with shit on camera.
Right.
Okay?
Well, I mean, we didn't. You were. I mean, we have cameras in the New York office while you were there for a couple years.
That's
but
true.
That is
Shit. He's right on that
That
one.
is a guy I can't really count that.
All right.
The last story. Last story. Bosco. Hell of a week by Bosco. Got us some guests. Took a lot of meetings.
He did a lot of guests.
Saw the Steve Fisher thing.
That was unbelievable.
This goes kind of like the story we told about him calling up the restaurant in Chicago and being like, would Dave Portnoy make us get a table? Bosco was at some meetings / parties on Saturday night. And one of the players who's going to be in the draft, I'm not going to say names, who Bosco's taking a liking to, I guess Bosco was talking to him at one of the parties. The player and his agent left to go to another party. Bosco followed him to the other party, was having trouble getting into this party, and said, well, my client is inside, talking about the player.
How did you find this out?
I have sources.
And did he get in?
He got in, but he was like, yeah, my client's in there. I got to get in there.
Yeah,
that's my client.
He's a mover and shaker of nothingness. He moves and shakes hard for no upside.
But you're like, this kid who's going to be drafted in the NBA draft, and he's trying to get at his table for the draft too. That's his client.
He's something.
He's
We
really,
got some
really
something people here.
Listen, he's a power broker. It's not easy being a power broker.
I said dead seriously that Steve Fisher video, his shtick should be.
Yes.
And I don't know if he's capable of it because he doesn't see like the irony, but he is asking the most ridiculous, most obvious questions to people who have no idea who he is and acting like he just broke world news.
Yeah. He's like Steve Fisher liked that they scored and won.
Steve, what'd you think of them not calling timeout and just letting it play out? He's like, well, it worked. And it's just so uncomfortable. And Rico's like, got it.
It was like, it reminded me of like when your dad joins FaceTime.
Yeah.
Like for a podcast.
There's an element of it with the old Farley interviews on Saturday Night Live where he's like asking the worst question. He's like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, got it.
What'd you think about when that buzzer beater hit?
Not
Cool,
even, like,
right?
Was it the right decision to like let them shoot, right? It's like, well, we won. Like, all right.
I got to do. I've got the van. Someday for y'all, I got to do the van down by the river. I've got it pretty down.
Let's focus on Wake Up Mintzy.
Yeah.
Now
Okay.
you're doing. I see.
Thank
You're
you. You don't wanna overwhelm
you're
you
one of
quite
those
yet.
guys that like you
Need to channel one.
No, well, you work so hard that like if you find you have so many ideas, let's just
Yeah.
get the one
Execution.
thing off the
Okay.
ground and then we'll go to the next.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
All
Duly
right.
noted.
Yeah.
There it
And
is.
I'm going to crush this 10K. Don't doubt me.
That's the run.
No. There's no way.
The run.
There's no way.
It's the rundown like getting off a plane. He tried to get up first.